Ladies and gentlemen, here we are again in the studio, Hudson County View, live and uncut. I'm your host, the local election terminator, rugged and built like Schwarzenegger, John Arhitis, and we've got another great show for you to talk about the latest and greatest Hudson County news. So first and foremost, right to my side here, we have Hudson County Board of Commissioners Chairman Anthony Vainieri, who will join us after the break. Obviously, there is a number of things to talk about pertaining to the county government, and we're going to touch on pretty much anything you could think of. So that will be our first order of business. We're also going to talk about the Jersey City municipal elections. Obviously, the mayor's seat and all 9 council seats are going to be up for grabs in November. And an interesting development here is that 7 members of the Jersey City Democratic Organization, along with the Hudson County Progressive Alliance, are calling on 2 local Democratic leaders to denounce Councilman Rich Baggiano, the Ward C representative, for abstaining on a measure that would denounce the January 6th riots, as well as the calling for the impeachment of now former President Donald Trump. So that's something we're going to touch on. We're also going to talk a little bit about Inauguration Day. Of course, yesterday we saw Democrat Joe Biden, the former vice president under Barack Obama, take the White House. So we're going to have a few local reactions on that end for you. And we have that and more right after this commercial break.
Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, Jersey City. Hudson County's only monument maker, serving all faiths and cemeteries. Design, studio, and large inventory on site. Cemetery inscriptions and custom orders welcome. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, just south of Secaucus Road. Craftsmanship that will last for all eternity. Burns Brothers, Jersey City, Albert H. Hopper, North Arlington. Visit us on the net. Consumer Carpets, 3408 Kennedy Boulevard in the Jersey City Heights, your one-stop store for residential and commercial floor treatments, carpeting, linoleum, tiles, laminates, hardwood floors, area rugs, remnants, all major brands, all in stock. Free estimates, same-day installation. Consumer Carpets, it's savings, selection, installation. Credit cards and debit cards accepted. Financing available. Consumer Carpets, price to fit your budget, installation to fit your schedule. On the net at consumercarpets.com. Consumer Carpets, Jersey City, 201-792-2712.
Good Friend Self-Storage in North Bergen, New Jersey is a fully climate-controlled facility equipped with state-of-the-art security, packing supplies, a Refer a Friend program, and multiple loading docks convenient for commercial use. Located just off of Route 3 at 4301 Tunley Avenue, Route 1 and 9. Call 201-867-2444 or visit us on the web today. Good Friend Self-Storage. Let us be your good friend.
Hudson County View, live and uncut. John Arhitis, and as I just mentioned a few moments ago, I'm joined with the Hudson County Board of Commissioners Chairman Anthony Vainieri. Mr. Chair, thanks for coming in.
Thanks, John. How are you?
Doing well, yourself?
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome.
I just got to give you kudos, seriously, because you have a really good show. You have a nice show. You listen to both sides, you know, whether you like the person, not the person. You know, you get our elected officials here. You get people who want to be elected officials that come here that can't even get 10% of the vote, and you still look out for those people, which is good, and that's why you're fair. There's a lot of Mickey Mouse entities out there that try to be like you, that can't even come close, that they only take their side of the story, and that's it. They don't come back and ask you, what happened here, what happened there. They'll just take a picture and put it on their little Mickey Mouse news camera and think they're like, you know, in Channel 2 or something. But I gotta give you kudos, you know, you're good, you know, Julio's a good guy, Jeff Henning's a good guy, and I like you all, but the Mickey Mouse outfits, you know, just leave town.
Well,
you know?
Thank you, Chairman. I appreciate the compliment. It's always a pleasure to sit with you. And all I could say is hopefully with this new administration, we'll see a change in the, you know, quote-unquote fake news era, and perhaps we'll turn a corner to your point. So with that said, you know, let's talk a little bit about President Biden. So I know that the county executive, he told me back in November that he thought that Joe Biden would be an amicable partner, someone he could work with in the federal government, unlike President Trump. So now, obviously, as I mentioned, and you're well aware, the president's been inaugurated, and he's put a few immigration policies on the map already. He said that he's looking to give 11 million undocumented immigrants asylum, though on the other end of the immigration spectrum, he's presumptive Homeland Security Director has said Alejandro Mayorkas has said that he doesn't have plans to defund U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, therefore he has no plans to abolish ICE. So when, the Hudson County Executive and when some of your colleagues, when you were talking about Biden coming into office and how this would relate to the ICE contract, what exactly did you have in mind and what were you thinking on that end?
Well, first of all, it would be a lot more we could discuss with an administration like a Biden administration versus a Trump administration. You're talking about night and day. The Biden administration is leaning towards more like the immigration accessible to path to citizenship, helping ICE detainees, hopefully. There are ICE detainees that are in a facility that are for hard crimes. They don't have to be tried for those crimes. You can't get away with anything. Why should anyone else get away with anything? Some of them want to go back to the country. Some of them want a path to citizenship here. So under the Biden administration, I think it's going to be a lot easier to work with the ICE administration on a federal level versus the Trump. Because Trump, it was just his way or no way. And we couldn't get any rapport with the administration whatsoever in the world. We wanted a path to exit. COVID started. We had 2 plans in place. The Mercer County inmates, we were going to get them. They were going to close the facility. Went to court.
Yes,
that was Mercer.
Yeah.
Okay, we were going to take over their whole facility with the correction officers in Hudson County, and their superior association appealed their decision. The freeholders in that county, now commissioners, approved it. We approved it. That was one of the paths to exit. Another path to exit was going to be from the state. We were almost going to be like a halfway house for federal prisoners on the state level. We're going to hold them here, and things didn't work out. COVID really hurt a lot of things, plans that we had in place, hurt a lot of people, and naturally, wasn't really the best year to do anything. So, we're looking forward to working with the Biden administration. Hopefully we can come up with some solutions to help these people.
Sure. So just on your first point, so I know it's been, since November 24th, there's been a lot of conversations about the criminal status of some of these detainees. Now, one of your fellow commissioners, Bill O'Day, as well as the jail director, if I'm not mistaken, said at a recent meeting that while the majority of these people that are detained, I believe we're at about 85 or so, have been convicted of crimes, some of them have already served their sentence. And I know Commissioner O'Day said that was a pretty high number. He said like 95% had already been either convicted or served their time or, found not guilty, et cetera. So, I mean, what's your thoughts on that?
Well, listen, we can't let them go. Okay, Bill O'Day can't let them go. I can't let them go. The director, I don't want to mention his name on the air, the director can't let them go. Okay, it's the federal government that's holding everything up. And that stems to this Trump administration with his policies that didn't even come down to the county levels. That's why these detainees are sitting there waiting for the cases to be heard, waiting to be deported, waiting to get whatever they need. They're waiting. Like Bill O'Day says, let them go. We cannot let them go. We don't have the authority to let them go. If you look at the Bergen County Sheriff's quote, he cannot let them go. He stated that. They spray painted his house. Let them go. Free the detainees. You can't. It's a federal issue. We only house them. We do not arrest them, and we cannot let them go. We're in the middle. Yeah. So we hold them here. We hold them here to the next, the court, we're deported, or hopefully path to citizenship.
Right.
And we keep them close to the families.
I'm sorry to jump in, but we're just going to take a quick break from our sponsors. We'll be right back.
The Jersey City Medical Center. You know it for its award-winning, life-saving ambulance service. It's also your health hub, with health and wellness locations staffed with certified professionals all through Hudson County. The Jersey City Medical Center, here to help you with your healthy, here when you need us the most. The Jersey City Medical Center. Visit us on the net to learn more. Jersey City Medical Center, Robert Wood Johnson, Barnabas Health Facility. Let's be healthy together.
Newport, the luxury waterfront community on the Hudson River, offers a quality of life you deserve in 10 high-rise rental towers with amenities such as the on-site Newport Path subway, light rail and ferry service, Newport Town Square, 3 playgrounds, dog run, upscale restaurants, retail giants like Sears, JCPenney, Macy's, and Target. Morton Williams Supermarket is just outside your front door. A health and fitness club, spa, skating rink, and medical facilities are also on site. NewportNJ.com. Enjoy the New York skyline from Newport Town Square. Manhattan is just one path stop away or quick ride through the Holland Tunnel. Nursery and private elementary schools all on site. 12-screen movie theater at the Newport Center Mall. Want to visit Newport? Stay at the Westin or Marriott Hotel. Go to newportnj.com for details. Newport has luxurious towers, great restaurants, shopping, New York skyline views, schools, playgrounds, a marina and yacht club, gym, spa, fine wine, fine living. It's incredible. It's you. newportnj.com. Newport, live like you want.
Hudson County View live at Uncut. John Arhitis still with the Hudson County Board of Commissioners Chairman Anthony Vainieri. So Chairman, anyway, so you were just explaining that you were saying this was a federal issue, and I know you've had these conversations at length at the public sessions of your meetings. And look, the biggest, I think, argument from the people that still are unhappy about the contract is that while, certainly you can't abolish ICE and you can't tell ICE what to do, what you can do is you can select which vendors the county could contract with, which is why, in part, they're upset about this whole set of circumstances. So just anything on that, Ed?
Well, listen, I visited the correctional facility twice. I talked to the inmates face to face. I told these inmates what they're facing. If we do not renew the contract, they may have to be shipped as far away as Arizona, Texas, closest maybe Pennsylvania, way on the other side of Pennsylvania. They looked at us like in fear. They did not want to leave. And even Bill O'Day was there, Alistair Frelly was there, and Stick Romano was there. All of our commissioners went. 4 of us. We can't have 5. 4 went. Mm-hmm. They all looked at us and said, we want to stay here, we like it here, we're okay here. We do not want to leave. That was enough to me to make up my mind to vote on a contract to help these detainees just stay where they are. We give them free legal counsel. We give them English for second language. We help them for path to citizenship. They have a beautiful new library. We just gave them 85 flat screen TVs. I mean, it's a jail. You have to realize it's still jail. It's not a Hilton, okay? So, we try to make it the best we can for them and their families to visit. And that's what we've been doing. And if we don't take the contract, these detainees are going to be shipped out.
Now, to that point, so does ICE actually communicate with anyone from the county about any of this stuff as far as
that wouldn't be on my table? No, that's either with the county executive's office, probably just county executive's office. Yes.
Okay. All right. So now, when we're also speaking about this issue, now I know you guys had a favorable reaction, relatively speaking, when you met with some of the people that are detained there. But still, when you speak to counsel for some of these folks, when you see
free counsel.
Free counsel, when you speak to, when you read independent reports, I should say, you still hear about people making complaints that are talking about, horrid conditions. They're saying no soap, no hand sanitizer, no toilet paper, and other things. I mean, you've heard a lot. I don't want to be too repetitive here, but what do you think about those accounts?
I don't know where they're coming from. I think it's somebody escalating and making rumors. We get reports. We talk to the jail director twice a month. We have meetings with him twice a month. We ask him these questions. Nothing's to the truth. Can a bathroom run out of soap? Yeah. Does your bathroom have soap here? Are you running a little low? Should we tell everybody that you're running low on soap? You're a bad guy? So things happen. Maybe they may happen. I don't know of them particularly happening. We don't know them. We don't get those little fine reports. As far as them saying they will have COVID, there was one out of they said 19 detainees had COVID. 1 had it, okay?
The other concern, actually, I'm glad you brought that up. So there was that outbreak, which I believe is ended at this point. But the other thing that I wanted to mention is there was a concern that a lot of detainees were being transferred to Orange County, New York.
That wasn't true at all. It wasn't true at all. The director said it's not true. So what am I going to do? Say you're lying? I'm listening to the ICE people?
All right. And actually, the other thing, too, was there was talk of a hunger strike, but...
There's no hunger strike.
Okay.
No hunger strike.
All right. Well, so with that, let's move on now to the public portion ordinance that will be in front of your governing body next week, a week from today, right?
Right.
So, look, long story short, as you are well aware, it would limit each individual speaker to 3 minutes, and it would put the overall public portion at 2 hours, and you would have the discretion as the chair if you would like to make that time period a little bit longer if you guys are dealing with matters of importance. So just tell me how you came to this decision and why you thought this was the right call.
Well, listen, when you get abused every single meeting, and you're sitting there frustrated because there's nothing else you could do to help anybody that's attacking you, that's cursing you, calling you a Nazi, calling you a torturer. I've been called every name in the book, okay? So has all the other freeholders, commissioners now. I'm gonna say freeholders because we were freeholders then. But, you know, it's time where the commissioners, Board of Commissioners as a whole, has to take a stance and say, we're not gonna tolerate this anymore, okay? We're not gonna tolerate this anymore. The contract was voted in November. It passed, okay? What else do you want us to do? Okay, we're not gonna go back on our word and abolish the contract now. We can't do that, okay? So, like, you're gonna hold up the meeting by attacking us, the same people, the same words. They write from script. I can show you 100 emails I get, all the same email, word for word, with a different name on the bottom, okay? So, the freeholders, they don't even want to stay at the meetings anymore. I don't either. I walked out a couple of public portions, and I will continue to walk out of public portions because it's meaningless now, okay? I, as a chair, address the public. If anybody has anything else to speak about other than the ICE contract, you get heard first, okay? And it's only fair because they can't hog up the public portion and let, like, say somebody has a problem with a traffic signal or their park, the trees have to be trimmed, or whatever you might have in a county issue, okay? You can't hog up your public portion on something that we voted 2 months ago and that we can't change. Take your fight to the federal government. Maybe they were down there on January 6th, I don't know.
Well, I'm not too sure about that either, but we're going to take one more break, so we're going to be right back.
Most women who give birth recover without problems, but any woman can have complications after the birth of a baby. Learn the post-birth warning signs, such as fever, headache, chest pain, shortness of breath, increased bleeding, or thoughts of hurting yourself or someone else. Knowing these can save your life or the life of someone that you love. Trust your instincts. If you feel something is wrong, call and get evaluated by your healthcare provider. If your symptoms get worse or you do not hear back from your physician, call 911 or go to the nearest emergency room.
RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together.
Pinto Properties, Jersey City. Shaping the workplace with state-of-the-art office spaces that address your company desires. Building residences that define your home environment, adjacent to all modes of transportation with on-site parking available. The right address, the right lease. Call 201-521-9000 or visit online at panapintoproperties.com. Panapinto Properties, building Jersey City for everyone.
Hudson County View, live and uncut. John R. Highness, and I'm still with the Hudson County Board of Commissioners Chairman Anthony Vainieri. So, Chair, obviously we're just finishing up this conversation about the public speaking ordinance now. The first reading, I think most people watching this are aware, or who will watch this are aware, that it passed 8-1, so not exactly a close vote. Commissioner O'Day voted no. He said something along the lines, I'll paraphrase it, this is the job we signed up for, and I remember sitting at the council till 2, 3, 4 in the morning, and etc.
Let's go back to the council.
So obviously you don't agree with his perspective, but anything further on that?
Listen, this is something all the commissioners got together and they spoke about it. They gave ideas to myself, ideas to the administration. We came up with an idea of how we could protect ourselves and protect the regular public that wants to speak. If you put a 2-hour cap on it, you're up to 40 speakers. When did you ever see a meeting with 40 speakers other than this ICE? Never. I haven't seen an issue since I'm on the commissioner board that we had 40 speakers at a meeting other than this ICE contract. That's it. That's it. Somebody wants to reach their county commissioner, you know me in North Bergen, they know how to get in touch with me. They don't need to go to Jersey City and say, oh, freeholder, there's a tree cracked on 2 inches south of this road. They're gonna get me. Email, Facebook, call town hall, call my business. They get me. They stop at my office all the time. I'm in the park every day. I have aides that walk around in the park. I mean, if someone wants to meet your commissioner and get your commissioner, they will. They don't need to go to a meeting in grandstand. You really don't need it. So the 2-hour cap came from one of the commissioners. I'm not going to say who, because I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, but we all agreed on this is the best we should do. I'm not going to say it's going to be forever. Okay, we could always change things. We could always go back. And like I said, If somebody is there talking to something of substance, of some other county issue they may have, I'm not going to cut you off. I went many times, but I didn't even cut these people off.
That's true.
If they were past their 5 minutes. I let them speak another minute or two.
Mr. Chair, actually, at that point, we are running a little short on time, coincidentally. So, but you did say last week, and I know you've said to me and others publicly, that the county's moving forward and, you know, the ICE contract's in the rear view. So what are you speaking of when you're talking about the county moving forward?
County moving forward. We just opened up a public safety training center. The first one we had, I think, ever. Okay? We broke ground for the new courthouse, administration building. Every single one of our parks have been done from top to bottom. Okay? Turf fields, recreation, senior programs. You know, like I said, the COVID hit. We didn't have the senior boat trips, picnics, things like that. But, you know, the county is moving forward. And we can't let this one issue just stop us, put us in reverse. Because there's a small percent of a small percent of people, that live in Hudson County that don't like what you did. And they come and attack you. And they send bomb threats to the county executive's office and death threats to the commissioners.
I don't know if that was a bomb threat. A lot of people say that was a glitter bomb. But listen, that's a different topic for a different day.
You don't do something like that. You just don't act that way. If I vote no on something or I vote yes on something, that's my prerogative. My people in my district will see how I voted. And if they don't want to re-elect me with 85% of the vote, which they just did, they won't re-elect me. Just for every other county commissioner. That's it. We help our district, we do the best we can. And just because there's a small percent of a population, I don't even say population, I don't know where these people come from. They come from Fairlawn. Sticker Romano got a call from Germany.
Yeah,
okay?
No, he mentioned that.
Right?
He mentioned that. But
now that we're on Zoom, anybody can log in on your meetings.
It's true.
So it's not like, once we start going back into our chambers when it's safe, I think you're going to start seeing a lot of these people dwindling down because they're not going to make the trip into Jersey City. They might go in their own county and arrest their Bergen County freeholders or commissioners.
Well, that remains to be seen. Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, sir.
Much appreciated, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching. We're not done yet. We'll be right back.
Stevens Jersey City Ford, located right off of NJ 440 North. Across the Hudson Mall is your one-stop for all your automotive needs. Check out Ford's latest models like the 2020 Ford Fusion with its stylish looks and hybrid options, or the unparalleled high-performance 2020 Ford Mustang. The 2020 Ford F-150 Raptor is ready for those rugged off-road terrains with trail control. Need a mid-sized truck for your towing and hauling? The 2020 Ford Ranger will deliver. The 2020 Ford Escape is a luxury SUV that was made for comfort and adventure on the go. Returning is Ford's legendary Bronco, which takes you back to the true meaning of off-roading. They are now available for pre-order in our showroom or on our website. Let us help you find your next vehicle. Stevens Jersey City Ford, 201-432-7272.
Hudson County View, live at Uncut, John R. Highness. So, like I said, we got a couple things we wanted to touch on before we call it a day here. So, first of all, we're talking about the Jersey City municipal elections. As I'm sure all of you watching are aware, that's going to take place in November. And little controversy for Ward C Councilman Rich Baggiano. So 1 week ago, we saw the Jersey City Council vote on a resolution that denounced the riots, the insurrection, whatever you want to call the chaos at the Capitol, as many outlets have deemed it, on January 6th, as well as calling for former President Donald Trump's impeachment over these events. Now, the one person who abstained was Councilman Baggiano. It passed 8-0-1 with one abstention. And now there were 7 Jersey City Democratic Organization committee members calling on their local party chair, who's Barbara Stamato, as well as the Hudson County Democratic Organization party chair, that's Amy DeGees, not to fund Baggiano's re-election. And I'm going to read an excerpt of the letter that they sent yesterday. So, last Wednesday, Jersey City Councilperson Richard Baggiano was the only council member to abstain on a resolution condemning these attacks and calling for the impeachment of President Trump. In a statement on the vote, he said that he feels Jersey City Council has no place condemning the president. This is wrong. A threat on democracy at the national level is a threat on democracy at every level of government. Now, for those of you that may have missed the meeting or perhaps just didn't watch till the end, I'm just going to read to you an excerpt of what the councilman actually said during this session. He said, "I think it was a disgrace and disgusting," of course talking about January 6th in D.C., But I don't feel we as a council have a right, whether it's Bush 1, Bush 2, Obama, Clinton, or any president, have a right to include something like that in a resolution. That's why I'm abstaining, which is what he said, again, last Wednesday at the council meeting prior to the vote. So I did not get a response from Stabato or Amy DeGise, and I also did not hear back from the Fulop campaign, which is relevant because Amy DeGise and Rich Paggiano are actually running mates, as I've mentioned on this program a couple times now. Amy DeGise is running with Mayor Stephen Fulop's re-election team as an at-large candidate. She is filling the void left by Councilman-at-Large Rolando Lavarro, who ran with Fulop in 2013 and 2017. And in recent memory, he's broken rank and is a long-rumored mayoral challenger, but he has yet to declare whether he will run for council, mayor, or I guess hypothetically could still run for nothing and just ride off into the sunset, though I don't think that's a very likely option at all, to be perfectly frank with you. So obviously the mayor's race in Jersey City looks interesting. We're also waiting to see what's going to happen with Rob Menendez Jr., who is an attorney and, of course, the son of U.S. Senator Bob Menendez. So with that, we're going to also talk a little bit about a planning board decision last night that was also in Jersey City. So this was covered by my colleague Daniel Uloa. So Dan, thanks so much for your commitment, for hanging tough and doing thorough coverage of this meeting, as always. So long story short, the planning board unanimously approved this 9-0. So the Bayfront redevelopment is something that we've been talking about for years. The council actually approved bonding for this property. It was not cheap. It was $170 million. And this was all a culmination of work over about a decade because Honeywell actually came to an agreement with the city to get rid of chromium contamination. And since then, we've actually, as recently as June, we saw city officials talking about the first stage of this redevelopment project going off, and this is going to have a significant part of the Hackensack River, and it's going to have affordable housing, workplace housing, and so on and so forth. So I just want to tell you a little bit more about the specifics. So to that end, the plan along the Hackensack River calls for 8,100 units of housing, a 340,000 square foot office space, 450,000 square feet of retail, and 19 acres of parks. And a recent add-on calls for a K-8 school that would have the capacity for 400 students. This would also include 35% overall affordable housing with a maximum requirement of 50% of the housing units to be priced for workforce housing, again, as my colleague reported. So that's certainly something to keep an eye on. I mean, this is something that could quite well be very transformative for the west side of Jersey City. We're going to keep you updated on that the best we can. So let's talk a little bit about inauguration briefly. Obviously, we're short on time here, but a member of the Hudson County Electoral College, that's Francesca Giratana, talked a little bit about how the path forward is now after President Biden was inaugurated. So I'm just briefly going to read an excerpt from her. And she said, "Growing up in Jersey City, I was afforded the opportunity to embrace the diversity of our country from my own backyard and witness firsthand as friends and neighbors pursued their American dream." And finally, before we call it a day, I just want to also mention that Hoboken Mayor Ravi Bala is applauding President Biden on rejoining the Paris Accord. And in short, he said, "I am grateful that President Joe Biden is taking immediate action on the very first day in office to rejoin the Paris Agreement. Nowhere is climate change more real than coastal communities like Hoboken, where rising sea levels threaten the very future of our city. The president, in his address before a world stage, said America will lead, not merely by the example of our power, but by the power of our example." So with that, I think we have hit the mark just about perfectly. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in. We'll see you next week.